And we're live on the twitch.tv / the Xisuma playing the Hermitcraft. Ready to get into some monument madness today. We, my friends, are going to continue work here on the server on our ocean monument farm. We got to construct it. I did all of that stuff sort of like recording an episode off camera. Now we're going to do a similar thing live. It's going to be fun. I got bananas in chat from Lucro, 4Gil, Curls of Doom, The Cheese Eater, Chiwi Pepper. Thank you for letting me know that we are indeed live. That is much appreciated. There's a place that I don't want to go visit that I've left stuff behind. I really didn't have time to get on here and prep. It was like, are we ready to go? I think we're ready to go. Apparently we're not ready to go. Wait a minute, I got a sorter for all of this. I can just throw things into here, right? Do I need that for anything? I don't know. I need that for something. Yeah, I'll need to leave a chest behind where I'm going. Right, I guess we got to head somewhere. Off we go. Welcome to all the peeps tuning in, saying hello in chat. Welcome, welcome. It is a Sunday morning. Might have a little bit of morning voice going on here. Yeah, that's because I left the area a different way last time. Interesting. That also means... Dang it! I probably need to go back a different way too. No, I can get to where I need to go from here. Yes, I got here for my first stream in maybe a week or two. Thankfully not at work. How's it going, says Foofy? All going good, thanks for asking. Got an interesting week ahead. With a fair bit of time off. But also making videos in between and stuff, so see how it goes. But today's Sunday. Gonna go have some Sunday lunch in a bit and enjoy some time off. Heyo from Sweden, says McMeerlock. Hello from the U of K. Right, look, here's all my stuff. And then I need a chest because I need to leave behind some of these things. Put that there, this here, that thing there. Right, then my tools are in this spot. And now we just need to pick all this stuff up, I guess. Hey, we got a noise in the ear. What is it here? It's S1W. Gifting a sub to Arsenic Catnip. What a crazy, crazy username. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate it. We also had Levy Colvin and... What was the other one? Cameron Witcher. Sign up via Patreon. Thank you for signing up over there. Appreciate you, supporting what I do. Right, let's chuck these in here. That's our noises in the ear. Yeah, Arsenic, be sure to say thanks in the chat. So that'll stay over here. I just need to maybe... No, they don't need to go back in here, do they? No, we're good. What I do know I need is some more buckets, though. I need to go find, like, a cow and then fill up a couple of shulker boxes full of milk. Curls says, oh, look, the amazing Bone Mage helmet. Oh, right, in one of the chests. Yeah, I haven't used that in a while, have I? Well, one of the cool things about our minecart transport system is that you don't have to use it with the minecart. And therefore, if the minecart gets stuck at one end, you can just wander along and get back to normal. Right, so up we go, into the ribcage. It's a strange old base to navigate, isn't it? Whew, and we're back. But a Xisuma stream, I must stay, says the masked Raph. Okay, feel free to stay. It's your choice. Milk buckets is what we're after. I'll leave those ones there because we'll just fill up a couple fresh. I mean, it makes sense for these to be white, right? And I should put a little icon on them. So white dye. White box. And then over here. Milk bucket. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. You know what I really want? What I really want is the zig R. What? Is like the final iteration of this is for the shulker box to have like the icon on top. If I had that, I would so be on using the storage system up top. That would be like the final piece in the puzzle for making shulkers better. Might be worth making this into a little standalone mod. I don't know. See if there's better, slicker ways to do this. We should probably free up a space by putting my tokens in a box. So, where we're going, we need... Oh, that's not in there as well. Oh. We need milk, obviously. And I want to fill this to the brim, but I am running out on iron. Then we're going to need lily pads. Can't remember which one they go into, actually. I think it's this one. Yeah, probably need a few of those. Kelvendale, thank you ever so much for 14 months of subscribing with the Amazon Prime. Appreciate you using that on me, my dude. Thank you for subscribing today and supporting what I do here. The Magpie says, hello, I'm back. Can you whitelist me now then? Oh, yeah, sure. Let me just whitelist. Anyone else want whitelisting? Alright, I'll whitelist you. Yeah, nothing... That won't, you know, that won't get me in trouble or anything. Just whitelist you. Why not? We need scaffolding, which I don't actually have it. In fact, I think the scaffolding shulker box I left down the bottom. We saw it a second ago, so... Yikes. I guess we'll make as much as we can with... I need to leave some of this stuff behind, right? I probably need a fair bit as well. It's so annoying. So annoying just leaving stuff behind all the time. Like, I have a little bit of scaffolding there. And do I have a bamboo farm somewhere? I don't think I do. I hope that's enough. I think we'll just about scrape by. Maybe we'll take a casual amount more. You can always bone meal this stuff, so it's not like it's too difficult to have replenish. So yeah, some scaffolding. We're going to need obsidian to create a portal, which will have the obsidian in here. I'm thinking through all the steps mentally. Cycle Hunden, thank you ever so much for 4 months. Appreciate you, my dude. Yeah, so we're going to make a portal. We'll need to make a beacon. And like I said, I'm running low on iron. There's not really enough there to make another beacon. Then we'll build the perimeter. We need a few blocks to place our scaffolding on top of, which are these types of block. I mean, they can be anything really. I just like using those ones. We'll double up some slabs to make that happen. And eventually we'll need glass and soul sand, but not straight away, so we can leave that stuff here for now. I feel like we got the most of what we need. Right, we are going to pop into the single player world real quick. This world might be a little bit laggy. The last time I caught you streaming, you were on an Empire's SMP. It's been so long. Yeah, that was a couple of months ago now, wasn't it? Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're probably going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just make it a little further away from there. We want another portal around here, so... Oh yeah, there's all extra stuff because we're in single player. So we're in the overworld. So I need to write down these two numbers. Which is... Well, actually, I need to write down 3 numbers for one of them. So it's -235, -245. Now, the other thing I need to grab is my coordinates here in the actual world. So, -1873, 169, -1952. Right, those numbers have been... Oh, it's a 4, not a 3. Those numbers have been captured, so we can go and build a portal here. This will be one of the first things we do, I think, is go directly down there, put a lily pad, come up here, put the portal in, right? Then build the beacon over to the side. Hopefully that'll be out of range of the Elder Guardian, but probably not. Then once we've done that, we just want to build pretty much all of this. I'll do the redstone later at a separate date. So the next thing that we can do is actually just create the schematic. You left some shulkers underneath the TCG arena, says S1W. I might have done, you know, I might have. Yes, that's entirely possible. Okay, so now what we want to do is remove that and create Guardian Skulk Farm Non 2. And then create a sub-region. Okay, and then configure. Yep, it's already where we are. Turn on the rendering. Yep, you can see we've got a box here. Might need to go... Yeah, might need to go a couple of blocks higher, actually. Should be more than enough. Finally, someone streams Minecraft. Good morning, everyone, says Naf. I think you'll find there's always someone streaming Minecraft somewhere. It's a popular game. Let's set down here, and then, yeah, we need to just go as far as we need to go, which I'm not sure how deep that'll be. Looks like it's deeper than that. Right, we'll swing around to the other side, and yeah, more than enough for us to put this into the correct spot. So the next thing for me to do is to save this schematic, and then also just to grab a screenshot of these numbers. I'm going to use a program on my computer to just grab a quick screenshot. Because you can just copy those coordinates in on Hermitcraft, and then if you put it in the right place, this will be in the right place. So that's all the information that I need from this world now. We're ready to go build it. Let's turn off the render for now. I'm loving the Sunday morning streams. Give me motivation to get out of bed, says Snowy Leah. Cool. Cool. By the way, 12 minutes in, I've got a hot cup of tea here. It's time to start drinking it, I think. Drink it like a trinket. Do you mean the sniping tool with Win Shift S, says Blackjack? No, because all that does is it puts it on your clipboard. I've got a program that will put it on the screen for me. But there is a big difference between someone who plays Hypixel for 5 years while screaming and a chill stream. Fair enough, yeah. I mean, you're waiting for a typer streamer, perhaps. But, you know, I doubt the only alternative is a screaming child. Oh man, that's some good tea right there. So yeah, I need to pick up some more iron, and then we need to go find a cow. And apparently I've got boxes at the TCG. So let's head over to the commercial area. We'll do a few errands there, and then we'll be ready to go to the Ocean Monument. Queen Chazzy, sorry to hear that you're stuck in hospital. That sucks. Hope you're not there for long. Hope you'll become an outpatient before long. You know, I had to deal with the hospital a while back, and they were talking about inpatient, outpatient, and I was so confused. And like, since then I've heard it a few times again, and I heard it this morning again, so it's like on my mind. But it's just one of those terms that, for whatever reason, I never really like learned at all until a couple of months ago, that at a hospital you have inpatients and outpatients. And it's sort of self-explanatory. An inpatient is in the hospital, an outpatient is outside the hospital. But they're both patients of the hospital. And there's lots of things. There's lots of things that you need to know in life, or is helpful to know. But there's like, not everything is taught in school. Or maybe they do tell you that in school and I just weren't paying attention.
Are you ready?
Oh look, someone's covered all up the redstone around here. Right, interesting. My plan was to extend what we have around the front, around the whole side. Or have they changed the material? Or was that me that left it there? I don't know. Maybe I filled that in, I don't know. Maybe it was me that filled it in. I don't see no shulker boxes over here. The place I would have left them would have just been here. Possibly a couple of decks. Oh, unless you mean these. Oh, they're the building supplies. Oh, okay, we didn't need to go here. Anyway, how many of y'all know what inpatient, outpatient meant? Because there's so many, like, I don't know, different institutions and things in society that has terminology, and you're never going to know all of it, right? But, like, how much of it escapes? How much of it gets past you? That's what makes me wonder. What other things don't I know about that I need to know? Martin says, well, I know now. Yeah, and some of you, now you know. I need more iron. I don't know if I can just go grab some from somewhere. It's a bit annoying that I run so low. Like, there's some... I leave nether beacons behind. There's one in the nether I could go mine back up, actually. I think I'll just do that rather than pinch. Yeah, some of you that know what inpatient, outpatient is, also expressing that, you know, obviously you've learned through not the greatest of circumstances, yeah. That is probably how most people learn then. Through having to deal with the hospital. I didn't know I was an inpatient myself, says Everstu. Maybe it's a British thing, although the podcast I heard it on this morning was an American one, so who knows. My boy still plays. Says I'm in the easy. I'm in the too easy army. The too easy army? What's that? Makes me think of Easy Company. Having recently rewatched Band of Brothers. Estellian, back with a cup of tea. The only way to come back, really, isn't it? The only way. With a tea, it sounds good. My boy still places I'm getting your face reveal. Oh, good luck with that. Good luck with that. By the way, there's a video on my second channel, so, you know, you're not the only one. I certainly tend to get impatient when I'm waiting to be admitted to become an impatient, yeah. Yeah, there's a joke somewhere in there, isn't there? I'm going to leave the base just because lava and stuff below. But anyway, pinched a few blocks back. Now we need to go find a cow. Dang it, I should have done a cow while I was in the other area. Actually, you know, there's loads of like other places around here, right? Where does this go? I'm sure there'll be a cow somewhere around here. According to Google, the first records of the word outpatient came from around the early 1700s. Wow, okay. It's got years on it. Oh, by the way, I made this remark in my video about how I often like think back 100 years. And like, if you're going through something bad, think about what it was like to go through that 100 years ago. Because I got really like sort of just stressed out and annoyed. I had a week with like things that needed fixing. This thing needs that fixing. Got to do that. Got to take the car. And then my hob, my ceramic heater hob, broke down. Pearl's base is just unbelievable. Art. It's like Minecraft art, isn't it? Really, sculpting, in a true sense of the word. Yeah, and it was just like one thing after another. And then when I read my comments, I don't know if it's like people just want to interpret what you're saying in a, like, know you're wrong kind of way, rather than see why you might be right. And maybe it sounded a little pedantic that I was getting annoyed by, like, my hob having broken down. But it was one thing after another. That was the main dealio for me. Oh, that's Impulse's farming district. Right, of course it would be nearby. Anyways, so I get some comments that are like, oh, Xisuma, you know they had hobs 100 years ago. What are you on about? They had plumbing, they had heating and all of this. And it's like, of course I know that. Of course I know that. They had stoves back then, but not like we have them today. You see, like when someone makes a message online, you can interpret it the worst way possible, or a better way. And I will obviously commonly be on the receiving end of one of those as a person making content that people comment on. But anyway, like, yeah, they had stoves 100 years ago, but if you know much about the technology, you might also know that, like, it wasn't as safe, it wasn't as efficient. You certainly couldn't go out and just, like, get it all fixed and replaced in a single day. There is so much convenience we have with modern living that is just sort of unrecognized until you look at it through the lens of history. So, like, if you think, do you want to have the plumbing, the heating, all those facilities as we had them 100 years ago, or do you want to have them as we have today? Because they'll be much safer by today's standards, right? They'll be much more efficient, easier to use. I mean, the stoves they had 100 years ago, I'm guessing were probably like gas. I'm pretty sure they didn't have ceramic, and they didn't have an induction heater like I got now. I think there's always going to be people who just want a debate to be right, says Everstew. Maybe. You know, I don't know fully what's behind their comments, right? Like, this is why I don't really like social media so much anymore, and I don't like to go on Twitter. It's just, maybe I'm reading what they're saying negatively. Maybe they just mean it in a nice, jovial way. I don't know, but it always, I don't know, it puts me on the defensive, I think. When you read a comment on your content, it's like a, maybe you got a bit of a defensive reaction to that. We probably need to sleep. Oh, there's the cow. Let's do this then sleep. And there's all of the milk that we need. Let's just put this in here. Sweet. I need to put this away into there. Then that goes into this. And 7 rockets to get home. I'm going to use Impulse's portal and get to the Nether. Emerald Beacon, why not? I have no idea where Impulse's portal is. But I'm going up here. Okay, it's not up here. There it is, found it, got it. Thank you very much. Snowy Leah says, wait, 100 years ago isn't the Victoria era, it's the 1920s. Wow. Yeah. 1920s. I like Impulse's tunnel here, it's cool. I like the windows. Like, maybe you don't have the best of views in the Nether, but I think Impulse's tunnel seems to be pretty well situated for a view. Although you get some of that jankiness. They had iPhones 100 years ago and they only worked on 3G networks. It was the Dark Ages by comparison. So I can imagine it was just a lot of coal and oil. My nan talks about how when she was a kid they used wood for the stove. Yeah, and you know what's really bad? Burning wood. Very bad for your health. It's the biggest, well, not the biggest, but a bigger releaser of CO2 as well than gas and oil. It's one of those things with the sort of environmentalist movement. Some of it can be a little bit romantic, let's say, and there's these notions of like, oh, we should all just go back to, you know, living on the local farm and burning the local farm wood. If we switched to if we went, right, everyone's going to ditch fossil fuels and we're going to burn wood, which is also technically, I guess... No, is it? No, you wouldn't call it a fossil fuel. What am I talking about? Like, that would be devastating. You know, that would just be like global warming annihilation if we all burned the equivalent for fuel in wood. Wood releases tons of CO2 for the amount of energy it creates in comparison. By the way, Carmex9248, thank you for 10 months of support, my dude. Just noticed that I've been waffling for a little bit and missed that one. Thank you ever so much. A key aspect of burning wood is that it has collected CO2 recently. We would be having to absorb the CO2 to get the wood. If we were to use it and make it cyclable. So, like, let's say every bit of wood we burn, we also somehow have the capacity, which I don't think we do, to regrow and reuse, then yes, it would be like in a cycle. Whereas with fossil fuels, we are, like, the fossil is sequestered and it's created over, like, a larger scale of time. So we are taking it, I mean, it happens over time, but not in equilibrium with the rate that we're using it at, right? Vegeta says, X, I don't think so. The amount of CO2 would be minimal compared to what industries release. No. Okay. Trust me on this one, right? You've got to think about it like this. Industries use fossil fuels, large quantities of it. In order to create the same amount of energy by burning wood, you are going to release an extraordinary amount of CO2 in comparison. Extraordinary, I say. It's just the nature of wood and the amount of energy it releases. It's so good for certain applications. Industrial applications, guess why we don't use wood for it? Because it can't provide, like, the right heat intensity and energy and stuff. If what I'm saying is, like, theoretically, if you switched everything over to wood, again, some of these romantic notions of environmentalism is like, oh, let's all go back to, you know, living off the land and you know, burning wood fires to heat our homes. Like, if you switched it all to wood, then the amount of CO2 released would be extraordinary compared to what you do with fossil fuels. Beitan Daniil says your science is flawed. I'm not a scientist. I've heard this explained by scientists. I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson who was explaining it. Like, he was explaining how much CO2 is released by different sources, and sort of came across this point of, like, if you look at how much CO2 wood releases for the amount of energy you get, if that was the only fuel we had, like, we would be releasing an extraordinary amount of CO2. Little Clash says Neil sprouts a lot of BS too, sadly. Who knows? It's the internet, you know. One person says the sky is blue, another says the sky is red, then we all say it's yellow, and la la la. For anything, you find one person saying stuff, you can find someone else saying it's the other way around, it seems. To me, it just sounded entirely logical. Maybe there's a reason it isn't. It was just one of those things that kind of stuck me. I was like, huh. Guess that makes sense. Also, like, I don't know, you know, if someone in my chat then says, no, you're wrong, like, how am I supposed to know why they know I'm wrong? We have to put trust in certain people, and I guess Neil is one of those people I put trust in. Neil is an astrophysics, says Plex. An astrophysicist, yeah. That doesn't mean he can't know stuff about other areas of science, though, right? And it doesn't seem like it's something incredibly difficult or unreasonable. Like, it's not like he's talking about, I don't know, particle physics on a deep level or something. Like, this just sounds like Is that coal? Oh. It just sounds like scientific information that's known and that he's read about and that is then expressing. Some of you are actually agreeing with me in chat as well, I will point out. I noticed that there's some people going, nope, you're right. So, I don't know, but when I heard it, that, you know, the act of burning wood, the wood itself is, you know, made of CO2, and that it releases tons into the atmosphere, it seemed very logical, right? Like, yeah, we burn wood on such a small scale that we don't measure it in the same way we do fossil fuels, but if all of the energy we created came from wood, the price would be way more CO2 in the atmosphere. Blackjack says wood contains a lot of compounds which are already effectively partially combusted and contain oxygen already, like sugar. Burning it will release less energy than compounds without that containing oxygen, but the same amount of CO2. Okay, so if it releases the same amount of CO2 as fossil fuel, you pointed out the other thing is that it releases less energy. So to get the same amount of energy from wood as we need from other sources, it has to therefore release more CO2 because you're consuming more of it, right? Perhaps it's the way I've worded it or said it that's a little confusing. Wood is roughly carbon neutral. It's that old carbon that changes the balance. I mean, is it carbon neutral because you're assuming that if you burn a tree, another one's going to take its place? Because if we manage the use of wood like that, then I'm sure, yeah, that sounds more feasible. If wood decompresses on its own, then CO2 is released. So why not gain some energy in the process? Not sure. Not sure at all how that works. The thing is, since we'll be burning wood, we'll also be farming trees, which is the balanced cycle, right? The overall output would be a net positive, I reckon. Well, we wouldn't have enough. We wouldn't have enough land to use for converting all of our energy source to wood. We'd run out of land. Again, something I heard in a podcast. Okay, some people talking about energy and how it all works and stuff, and it's like, hey. You know, there's only so many places you can throw down trees, right? Like, there's this sort of goodwill movement for, you know, let's plant more trees to solve this problem, but then other people come along and say, well, you can't just plop down trees anywhere. It changes the environment. Not all areas can sustain... I mean, you can't put trees in the middle of the Sahara Desert, for an extreme example. And then trees, like, they change and disrupt ecosystems, you know. Sometimes you have wetlands and fields and they have different ecosystems. So it's not that you can just put trees everywhere and solve the problem that way. We can probably do more. We can probably plant more trees than we currently are, or we can take the time to figure out all the places we could put them, but I don't think there's an equilibrium to be achieved just through trees alone. I doubt we'll run out of land. If that was so, we'd be out of oxygen by now. I don't see how those two add up, right? Like, not all land is equal. Not all land is suitable for growing trees, as I just mentioned. There are also different like tree types for different type of terrain and stuff. Let's go get a bit more of that. Whoa! Watch out for that guy. Thought I grabbed quite a lot of this stuff. Apparently not enough. Oh, these guys hit hard, right? I don't know how many times I need to hit them, I was just thinking. Little Doggy on a Stick says, why did Hermitcraft fell off? First question. Okay. How did you know we fell off a cliff? God, we went on that hiking trip secretively. Jeez. I don't know what you mean, man. Why did Hermitcraft fall off? Like, hey, here we are having a good time together. All things have a rise and a fall. Don't shoot at me now. You know, Hermitcraft has its ups and downs over the years, but look at us. We're all still here going strong, loving what we do. Sometimes I think when people lose interest in something, they like to see it like... Not like, oh, I lost interest in this thing, but more like it changed. Or something happened to it. Really what it comes down to is like, are us hermits here having a good time? Yeah. Like, what else matters? Views go up, views go down. Been doing this for years. Just got to enjoy it. Oh, that doesn't look... Oh wait, there you go, there you go. We do have enough. We do have enough. I think we'll set that up relatively quickly because one of the things I want to do is scaffold up. So we'll grab this. And I'm kind of operating on the assumption here that I'm not going to die and lose all of this stuff straight away. Right, I'll keep one of those on me, one of them in there, because the inventory's getting slowly cluttered. We need the obsidian and that, yep. And then we'll probably use some netherrack. Actually, I can't use those as temporary blocks. Interesting. Anyway, I think we're ready for the next step. X, do you watch Veritasium? He made a video about the Sleeping Beauty paradox yesterday. If you know about it, Are you a halfer or a further? Says Vegeta. I'm a halver. But I believe the root of the problem is how you interpret the question, because there's two ways of looking at the question, which is from an external perspective or the perspective of Sleeping Beauty. If you look at it from the perspective of Sleeping Beauty, I can see how it makes sense to say you're a further. But if you look at it from the perspective of someone on the outside, the heads and tails flip is always a half. And I gravitate more towards the halver perspective because the reality is the experiment from the outside, and then the perspective of Sleeping Beauty is a perspective within that distorts what's happening. Like, when they make the example, it was one I thought of before he made it in the video, but like, you can also say that Sleeping Beauty wakes up 1,000,000 times in a row, so therefore the odds of her waking up are, you know, one in a million being, yeah, roughly 1 in a million outside of being in a million. So you're more likely to wake up in the million, therefore it's more likely to be tails. But that's a chain of events, and the act of waking up on one side of the coin flip and the act of waking up on the other are not equal from the perspective of when you wake up, because one is in a chain of a million events, or in the case of the further, in a chain of 2. So that's how I think about it, and I don't know how that adds up mathematically and if it's correct or not, but that's essentially my thoughts on that topic. That's kind of the way I see it. I don't know if you want to throw anything back at me on that. X, how do you get through procrastination? Oh, I don't procrastinate. I hate procrastination. The chain of events thing doesn't apply, though, since there's no information passed across the different wake-ups, says Vegeta. Yes, again, perspective. From Sleeping Beauty's perspective, that is true, but is her perspective complete of what's happening? If you're outside of Sleeping Beauty's perspective, then you know that the coin toss is 50-50. Therefore, I'm a halver. But, again, interpretation of the question, are we really analysing it from Sleeping Beauty's perspective entirely? Because it doesn't change the actual reality if you're just thinking from her perspective or not. I can understand how from her perspective, yes, the numbers add up different. But I really am a halver on this one. Is this the new Veritasium video, says Cat? It is. Yep, we're discussing that. Right, I want to get roughly out to 1874 and 1952. Okay, that actually makes... No, wait. 52 is back. Yep. 1974. 1952. It looks like we're going to be quite safe around here. And no mining fatigue so far. The odds of the coin flip is always 50-50, but the odds of Sleeping Beauty being given the right answer of which side the coin was flipped can change. But yeah, maybe I'll watch it again and think it over a little deeper. Right, so that is one block off from where we want to pillar up. So what we do here is we come down and do that. Oh, I guess I could have just put it straight on. Then this will go... Actually, you know what? I'll put it there, so then the portal is in front. Foofy says, how can Sleeping Beauty make a decision if she's asleep? No, she makes the decision when she's awoken from her sleep. Nexa N Tubing says, if you have an instinct to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill it. Otherwise you'll begin to procrastinate. It pushes that thought or instinct to the frontal lobe, making a voluntary action. Makes it feel a lot like work. I don't know if there's a 5-second rule on that thing, but I mean, for me, I don't know, I hate the feeling of procrastination. Very rare that I actually procrastinate. If I'm not doing something that needs to be done, it's probably because I'm doing something else relevant. We got Sir Tilf here for 4 months, Lizzie Bess for 52, and Herminator for 47. Thank you for your tremendous support, peeps. It is appreciated. I hope you're entertained and enjoying the stream, you know. Having a good time this Sunday morning as we talk about all sorts of things. Love the music, says Toilet Mock. Glad you do. It's Errands. You can listen to Errands on Bandcamp, on Spotify. Go check them out. Do you like Star Wars? Yes, and I'm a Slytherin all the way. All the way Slytherin. Captain Picard is my favourite. Right, let's go here and just check that works. Okay, looks like we've synced it up. That makes a lot of sense. They're at the same height both sides. Shouldn't be any reason they don't sync properly. Speaking of Spotify, any plans to share your Spotify stats at the end of the year? No, I don't have any plans to do that. Okay, I'll put some slabs across the top. That'll be smart. Then we'll build some beacons out here. Doing this in a slightly different order from what I did last time, so I think I've learned a lesson or two, you could say. And yeah, we do seem to be out of the range of the old Elder Guardian out of this spot. And I'm pretty sure a beacon range is about 50 blocks, right? So like, is that 50 blocks to there? That's a good question. Here's another thing we're going to do while we're out here and it's peaceful. Let's make it daytime though. Sir Jemin, the one, the only, 13 months. Thank you so much for the subscription. Appreciate it, my dude. I have ADHD and I want to die. Give me tips, says Ashanti Cook. I'm sorry to hear that you want to die. That gravely concerns me. I certainly don't want you to die. Ow! And I just banged my knee. God, I'm such an idiot. I have very little experience with ADHD. But it does seem like something that is subscribed a lot, and I'll say this carefully, like, I do wonder if these things, like, are you clinically diagnosed or have you self-diagnosed? Because there is some discussion going on around how there's a lot of self-diagnosis taking place on platforms like TikTok, and I was walking through town one day, and I sort of overtook a couple of young people, and they were talking about they're pretty sure they've got ADHD, like, because of some TikTok video. And I was just like, whoa, like, I've heard about this on podcasts and stuff. So, like, if you are, air quotes, self-diagnosed, I would perhaps second guess that a little bit. It's very easily to sort of, like, self-diagnosis is never a good start for stuff. It's very easy to get things wrong. You need like an outside perspective on that stuff. Chat is very intelligently suggesting that you could call a helpline, which I know can be scary. Like, I don't think anyone really wants to call a helpline, right? But, you know, there are compassionate people on the other end of that line who will be willing to help you, I hope. Putting it bluntly, self-diagnosis is stupid, says Martin. Let's not reduce it down to just be like saying it's stupid, but it's just easy to misdiagnose oneself. It's a little bit like astrology in the ways in which, you know, you can sort of create these open-ended statements like, oh, if you're Sagittarius or something, then you're a nice person, you know, and a lot of people tend to think they're a nice person, and so, like, you know, it's easy to match those things up. There are a lot of, like, everyone has mental health issues and struggles in life. We all experience anxiety at certain points in time. We all experience, you know, being unable to focus. But the reason might not be ADHD. It might just be, hey, maybe your like environment's a little chaotic and you're a slower person than what's going on around you, right? Maybe what you just need is a little bit of time every now and then to take a walk and breathe in the fresh air or something. Like, Fufi here says self-diagnosis can be helpful when you speak to your GP. The reason it's hard to get an official diagnosis is because some GPs won't just refer you, but also NHS mental health services are really painfully understaffed and underfunded. I mean, when we say it can help you, I mean, if you get it right, then yeah. But I think it's just important to speak about it in a way where, like, self-diagnosis can go wrong. So, like, if the result of you self-diagnosing is that you feel bad, if that, oh my god, you know, I've got this thing and what can I do about it, that's probably not a good place to start with self-diagnosis. If the end result of self-diagnosis is that you're taking positive actions that anyone could take and benefit from, you know, maybe you start exercising more, or you work on your mental health, or you listen to your emotions and introspect, like, then something positive has come out of that action. So it seems hard to say that that wouldn't be a good thing, right? Should we go for speed or haste? Haste makes no sense. Strength. It's got to be strength. There you go. Because we're going to fight some guardians. Dang, we're doing this like pros, man. When I did this last time, I'll admit, like, it was a bit of a struggle. But now I'm like, hey, the order in which we do things, it's all got to be different. There are many symptoms that cross over with other diagnoses. The professionals know the crossovers, so it's best definite to talk to them, says Matty. Purple Hat. I think that's good right there. Yeah, if you're struggling though, like, it's a little hard to kind of give you an answer that's helpful, I guess, because when you're struggling, it's hard to see this stuff. But it's about, you know, finding steps of self-improvement, finding actions you can take to, like, swing things in the better direction. That's not to say, oh, here's this thing you can do and it'll all be solved, but just like you've got to build up that fight inside of yourself to try and get better, to try and move in the right direction. Oh, do you know why we need loads of scaffolding? Because we use tons of scaffolding in there. Totally forgot about that. I guess I'll have to go. I'm pretty sure I got a bamboo farm somewhere. No, I got a kelp and a sugarcane one. I'll have to get a bunch of bamboo from... Oh, wasn't Cub on a minute ago? I'm going to just shoot Cub a message. Just out of the blue, just be like, do you have any bamboo? See what Cub says. I'll see if I get a response. I don't know if is he still online? He's still online. Cub's up at this hour, I think. Yeah, so now we need to bring in the schematic. So we'll load... God, we've built so many things this season. Guardian, number 2, load. Now we can't see it until we do that. Oh my god, now I can see it. Now the next thing to do is to go to the loaded schematics. No, schematic placements. Right, the last one is on, so we'll turn that off. The TCG arena is done, so we'll configure this. Now remember, I took a screenshot earlier. I'm pretty sure like I've got the numbers here that I need. So the height is that height, and then I can adjust the other numbers here just to make them the same as they were before. But I'm pretty sure one of them gets flipped. 884. I'm pretty sure it's this number, because we just step back and look. Yeah, see how it's like totally out of range? So what I do, if you remember in the area editor we were given corner 1 and corner 2. When I do this, the first 2 numbers come from corner 1, the second number comes from corner 2. I've done this method a few times now, and it's starting to make more and more sense the more I do it. Okay, so I no longer need that. I no longer need that document with the numbers on. They're all done. Cool. So now what I need to do is get in there, place a block under a lily pad so we can start putting in some scaffolding. Got to be mindful that we're going to take damage and stuff now. Oh, and that. Which is not a bad time for it to happen, really. Oh, do you know what? I need to not get shot for a second. Okay, if I go in configuration, move and set here. Aha, yeah, you're going to cause me issues, aren't you? Right. It's very difficult to see. I had the luxury of actually writing down the coordinate last time of the one that I decided to use. Yeah, they're like around here now, aren't they? They're hanging out. Scaffolding, scaffolding. It's all scaffolding. I think it's because it's actually one block lower. Oh, dang, this is tricky. There is a moment where it tells me what we're looking at. Smooth stone. It's somewhere here. Smooth stone. Right, am I going to get it right? Smooth stone. I think that's correct. It's not throwing up an error. Schematic, scaffolding, client, smooth stone. It needs to go one block lower than that. That's the trick. Okay, so I made a mistake. But we now know we need to mine that. So we're going to go in there with a bucket of milk, of which we have plenty. Hey, covers a bamboo farm. Awesome. See if I can get 12 stacks off of him so we can build this thing. Alright, drink first. Drink then mine. Ah, gotcha. And then scaffolding goes on at this level. Cool. I don't want to rush into doing that though. I think I might... Do I want to build up the sand walls first? Not really. I'm sure at this point I had a better way of, like, building all of this. Feels to me like I'm missing something. Because I can't see where those stone bits go. Here's a possibility. Like, let's say we temporarily went into here, shifted that up one block. I still don't see where it's supposed to go, right? I remember what I did now. It's come back to me. I actually used a screenshot from the other world. Okay, so we'll do that, and then we'll go to another world. Oh, wow, that sounds cool. Alright, looks like we're going to take a trip to Cubfan's bamboo farm, which is in a giant snow cube. That sounds awesome. By the way, we've got 700 peeps tuning in today. Be sure to hit the follow button if you're enjoying today's stream. My PokeCap is off. I had to record some clips for the archaeology video, and I was just like, I'm gonna take the cap off for a minute. Here's what I did last time. I took a screenshot of that. Detailed particles. So yeah, if I just make that as a screenshot, I can sort of translate it mentally. Right, so that's going on the other screen for a minute. And then we're going to go back on to Hermitcraft. Foofy says, I'm so excited for archaeology. I've been thinking that the theme of it just looks really good. Like, it feels like since we last saw it, they've really kind of like sussed out how to make it look much better. I reckon there'll be more than 4 pallets. I had this idea, something related to armor trim. I was wondering if maybe you'll find like an armor trim at the archaeological digs, like a template that you can dig up. Just another way to like link things together. Like, I reckon they should have made a template drop from like the Wither or something as well, you know, like perhaps link together more aspects of the game through this one thing, but they chose to use it to embellish like exploration. I kind of like the idea of tying more things together, because as you do them, it's like you sort of naturally just find other things in the game, right? Like, oh, now I've got this template after I killed the... Aha, the red tunnel is this one, okay. After you kill the Wither, you've got like a hint of, well, you know, you learn about building the beacon, but now, oh, templates or everything. XP crafted. Tango. crafted. Soup group. Alice. I feel this update is going to be great. It just doesn't add game-changing features like a new thing to do before you inevitably get bored and start a new world, says Martin. I mean, for me, it's starting the world that's boring. Like, I'm an end game player, I'll tell you. Like, the game has gotten exciting for me. Like, as of late, now that we're truly getting into the end game and we're doing stuff like the TCG, that's where Minecraft like gets really interesting. I'm gonna ask Cub. Oh wait, there's a sign up there. Maybe we'll read that first. Cub's Farms and Zed's quest area. I don't need to pester him again. Now, are Cub Farms up there or this way? You know? The sign would suggest they're both this way, I think. Oh my god, this goes far, doesn't it? Yeah. There we go. Okay. Scoot and melon farm. I don't know if I'm at the right place, honestly. I could have just come somewhere where there happens to be Cub Farms. Cub Farms like Cub fans. Oh. How does this work? There we go. Oh. Dang, that's a lot of like honey block and slime block. I like it. I don't think this is a giant snow cube. It's the portal with the respawn anchor right beside it. Okay, so we need to look for a respawn anchor next to it. There's a pillager outpost over there, right? And then there's stuff in the sky. How does this work, by the way? I think they're bud powered. Yeah, they're bud powered. So when something grows, they pull it up, which will break it. Huh. And they're growing on mud. Oh, that's super cool. Oh, you know what? I absolutely love that mud block when it comes to farming. I totally learned how great that was the other day, doing some redstone, and now I'm just kind of like, I need to get that in my arsenal of like things when it comes to doing farms and redstone. There's all these options, there's all these possibilities, but you also got to remember what all the different things are. Wait, what's up with mud? Says Y0 Game. It allows you to collect a block that's on top of it with a hopper underneath, but also plant things onto it. Cubs, flower and chicken farm. This doesn't have a respawn anchor next to it, so this isn't the one. That's a lot of chickens. Chickenese, you are my favorite mob. I like to play with you. Chickenese. Oh, that's a classic old school Minecraft song that I just love. It's like super derpy and weird. Like from before the, I don't know what you want to call it. Commercialization isn't quite the right term. But Minecraft today, there's far much more, let's say, professionalism in it. Whereas that's a song from like the early days. Well, before anyone realised like you could do this stuff as a job, it was just some derpy, funny little song someone made. It was so cool. Ah, Cub's got a massive flying multi-farm here. I'm guessing this does bamboo because, look, there's bamboo. I'm guessing this staircase will go down to some storage because look, there's storage. I knew it. Brain smarts. Oh, neatly organised. I like it. Why are these farms built like out in the middle of nowhere? Why would they not be... Oh, I think I know why this is, because there's snowy stuff here. I'm sure there'd be snow closer to... What is this thing? Oh, this looks like a oh man, this looks so similar to... Ah, I know what this is. This is so similar to what me and Cybot, mostly Cybot, put together. It's a TNT duper to convert the stone, yeah. The contraption we're going to use on our farm that you're seeing today is just like this. Another pillager outpost. Except the blocks get pushed into a single row instead of 4, which was like the crazy technical feat that Cybot managed to pull off. That is actually, I think, like a contraption I don't recall ever seeing someone do before, because it's got such a niche use case and it's a pain in the bum. Why is there screamy loud music in the background, Xisuma? Why are you listening to someone scream? Look, peeps. You know, I just don't like nice vibrations. I don't like harmonious singing. You know. I just want to listen to someone retch their vocal cords. Is that okay? Jeez. Give it a break. You should always have screaming music. You know what? I deliberately pick music I like that I think suits the vibe of the stream and that y'all... or is more palatable to, let's say, the average listener. I'm not going to blast Dimmu Borgir and Slayer, because as much as I'd enjoy listening to that, I don't think it's like palatable for most people, and I don't think it really suits Minecraft. I think you can listen to anything you want because you can be into one thing while being into another. I used to, like, when I first played Minecraft, I was just listening to loads of like black metal and hip hop, and for some people maybe neither of those things remind you of Minecraft, but there were just two things being enjoyed at the same time. Eric B and Rakim I was listening to a lot of. Yeah, I just sort of discovered them and their legacy around the time I found Minecraft, and dang, like if I listen to those records, I also remember some of those very first Minecraft worlds where, like, one of the most exciting things I was doing was carving a path through these caves, because I hadn't played a game before where, like, you could manipulate the world, and also it was procedurally generated, so, like, exploring caves when you first played Minecraft back in 2011, 12 years ago, it was like, whoa, this is... I haven't seen anything like this before. Now it's just like, caves, whatever. But yeah, I spent my time crafting like a walkway down to the lava level, just so we could get some of this lava, because there was also this element of like, oh yeah, you need things, and it was just new and fresh, like, oh, so I have to go like grab stuff that I need? This is interesting. And so it'd be like a whole adventure of like, let's go get lava. These days it's like, oh, I'm trying to get lava to make a super duping stone block generating farm, and what's the quickest way I can get there? Elytra fire resist potion. Good thing I built that potion brew already. You know, like, you just play it so differently. But yeah, I just remember playing on my friend's multiplayer server, building paths down to the bottom of the world, signposting them. We had like walls for our base, you know, like survival was so, or our approach to it was so primitive that we just had like these castle-y walls, and you had an area that you could call like a safe spot. It's just a weird way of playing the game. Being scared of going into caves is an experience, as Neo update. Absolutely, yeah. Spint the Pickle says, it would be hard to understand you if the background music was too screamy. This level works. Yeah, this is on the lighter side, sure. What do I think about melodic metal? I like melodic metal. I like metal. I like melodies. I like metal melodies. Right, I've got my Twitch mod chat back on the screen. We're all I should say thanks to Cub before I do that. Sweet. Right, just letting Cub know that I've got that. That's brilliant. That saves me a trick. So that's the other thing that we needed for this farm. We got our slabs for placing smooth stone. We're probably gonna... I reckon we'll get to placing some glass today, so... Why don't we top this up with... Where are we at? Dyes? Like, we probably won't use a crazy amount, but I'll chuck that in there. Also, I can probably put away the obsidian now, too. So, obsidian in here, tools are there. What is my resource pack? I use vanilla tweaks, so it's a customized thing, right? Like I pick my own selection of stuff from vanilla tweaks. It's quite a beautiful song, really, isn't it? Can't hear the stream over my computer overheating. That's unfortunate. My laptop goes brr. It's like a new one with fancy graphics and stuff. Fancy graphics card. And yet, man, sometimes the fans just go crazy on it. It feels like when you boot it up and maybe some update stuff is happening in the background, it just goes wild. 17 is lucky is here for 3 months saying, X, keep up the great work. I've been watching you since season 2 and I always love your content. Thank you for the lovely message. Appreciate it. Right, controversial topic. What colour label on milk do you get? If you say anything other than green, you deserve to be locked up. Well, I know they're generally uniform, but some shops in the UK do them different. I would go for milk. Sorry, milk. I go for milk. That's what I pick. I would go for blue. 100%. However, at the moment, I just have green. I don't know why. It's because I've been putting my calories up. So, like, I see like milk as just being like, you're not gonna pull out your app and add like 10 calories for a cup of tea or something when you put milk in it, right? So I'm happy with green. I used to drink red. Back when I would guzzle like a glass of milk or something, I used to always want red milk. I don't know why. And then at one point in time, I definitely equated fat to being unhealthy. So I was like, red milk, less fat, which is not the way to do it, peeps. All right. Be wary of all this health conscious stuff with like, oh, this is low fat. You know, low fat sometimes means more produced because there's, you know, more that's been done to the product to reduce the fat from its, let's say, more natural state. I'm going on a bit of a tangent now, aren't I? Yeah, blue tastes best, in my opinion, with just about everything. And that makes total sense because if you don't know, fats carry flavour better. I don't know if that's true of milk. Certainly it is with cooking with like olive oil, you know. They say you use olive oil to like carry the flavour and stuff. Stefan RBK, thank you for 38 months. Did I miss the Mumbo prank yet again? You did miss the Mumbo prank, and he's back on the server. Yay! Celebrations, Mumbo's back. I actually I met up with Mumbo yesterday. We had a lovely little chat, and it was just so good to have him back. I forgot how cheerful Mumbo is. I mean, we all know Mumbo is cheerful, right? But oh wait, I'm doing this wrong. Yeah, just, I don't know, you don't see someone for a long time, you just forget how fun it is to hang out and goof around in Minecraft. I need to go pay attention to my little thingamajigger now. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks between this one and the next one. So we go 5, we go underneath, and this is where they shoot me right as I'm placing blocks, which always drives me mad. Next time though it's 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The 6th one being where that goes, and now we're going to swim away. Eat some food, gain some health, hide for a second. Yeah, so blue milk label, full fat. I'm good with that. Yep, fat does carry flavour. It does have something to do with chemistry, says Imans75. I once heard it described that way. It's like the bits of flavour or whatever, they like bond with the fat much easier. Would an invisible potion help maybe, says Curls? Absolutely not. In order for an invisibility potion to work, you also have to take off all your armour, and therefore you play a massive game of gamble, because if one swims towards you, then they know you're there. So, no thanks for the invisibility potion. I always get that suggestion. And it's like, you know, sounds good. In reality, maybe not. Please put me on the scaffolding. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5th one is where this goes, and then it's 2 out to the edge on either side. 1, 2 over here, 1, 2 over there. Forward facing, that's just going to be a single block. Okay, that'll do. Lucro says it as well. Just go and experiment with it for yourself. Like, once they get in a few blocks of you, they can detect you even when you're invisible. then you've got no armor on, and then you're going to get zapped by a couple of shots so quick. It's totally not worth it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3. I've nicely spaced these things out, so let's see if we can just get the last of this in and we have to stop using that image. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one is where this goes. Oh no! Dang it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th one, and now I've forgotten what the last number was. We're in trouble. Big trouble. Big trouble. I could have my chest plate on as well, but I like the idea of just being able to fly away too. Okay, there we go. So now we need to use a bucket to get rid of that one extra block. So once we place the last one, it's free at the end. So we just need we need to remove something, put in 3 more scaffolding, and then we're kind of done. Not bad, eh? It's going pretty well. And Aha, you are right. The last number was 3. Thanks for remembering that. Is it me, or am I paying more time on chat than on the stream? You could well be. I wouldn't know though. Can I please get up on this? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now bucket of water. Yep, that's definitely a bucket of water. Mind that. Okay, we're good. Right, we just got a lot of guardians here. So what I'm going to do for a minute is try and manipulate how they're spawning to our advantage. So if I go stand up here and load this farm for a minute, then we'll capture loads of guardians inside of this thing. Why don't you just kill the Elder Guardians, says Daniel? Because then I've got a farm where I can be like, and I never killed an Elder Guardian. I've not been inside of this temple. There could be beautiful... Dang it, I need some sponges. There could be loads of beautiful sponges lying around, right? Maybe I should do like a sponge raiding stream sometime. So yes, anyway, the idea is, look at all these guardians, and now they're going to stay loaded while I'm over here, is essentially what I'm hoping for, right? So as we put this stuff in, there'll be less guardians. Oh yeah, I don't actually want to overextend like that. That was a bit of a... Oh no, wait, scaffolding can be instantly broken, so it's not really that much of an issue when it does happen. Okay, please stop hitting me. I guess it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. Also, where am I going to swim? Because I don't want to swim away. We want to keep all those other guardians loaded. Uh-oh. Quickly now. Quickly now. Wait. Yes. Yes. I got it right. I got it right. Just, Yep. That was good timing, I guess. Good timing, good rhyming. Get away, kelp. Okay, and then there's 1 row left, or none. I think we've placed all the blocks. So now we want to sleep. However, mining fatigue, right? So we need to place the bed over here. I have to have skimmed, because trying to lose weight, but I get it delivered fresh in the morning from a local farm, so it tastes really nice. Yeah, if you are trying to lose a bit of weight, making small decisions like using less oil when you cook and switching to, you know, they'll add up. That's a good way to do it, really, because it's not a big sacrifice, and yet it will add up over time. It's a good idea. I hope you meet your goals. That reminds me, every now and then someone says X, like, I'm trying to gain weight. How can I gain weight? I heard a really good one recently, which was to just buy full fat milk, the blue milk, and drink a pint of it every day. Because it's very easy to just drink a pint of something. And if you just make it a habit, maybe you have it with your breakfast, you just add a pint of milk. Maybe that can help you, because, you know, you'll get some good healthy protein, and you know, milk's a good healthy drink, isn't it? Plus, you get the full fat stuff, and you're putting in some extra calories. So that can help you get what you want to achieve, hopefully. Dang it, stop shooting at me, okay? I'm just a little derp. Leave me alone. Add Nesquik or such like, says Lil Spagball. I don't know what those are, but I wouldn't recommend adding anything to it. Like, there's no need to add sugar to milk. You know, it tastes great already. Geordie, thank you so much for was about to say 7,859 months. No, that's the numbers of your name. Tier 3 subscription for 28 months. Thank you so much, my dude. I'm going to assume as a Tier 3 subscriber you're already on the whitelist. If not, and you don't happen to know, go to xisumavoid.com and click on Get Whitelisted on the left of your screen. Thank you, my dude, for your support. Much appreciated. There's a bit of help there that we don't want. Lovely stuff over here. Just absolutely tearing through this project. It's so much easier because I've already done it before. And what I want to do next, I want to start putting the sand in. I just got a feeling it'll be easier to put the sand in before building up the rest of the scaffolding platform. I don't actually know if that's the way I did it before or not, but that's what I'm going to do now. I also think it might be wise just to always keep a bucket of milk on me. And then we don't need that anymore. We're running low on our food supply, I must admit. It's how I learned to drink and like milk. Now I don't have the Nesquik. It was just a tip for those who don't like milk, maybe, says Little Spagpal. Or maybe get used to drinking it without, because it's really great. It's gorgeous. I've noticed a lot of food is really quite nice. You don't have to actually add extra stuff to it. You just... Especially with sugar, it's so easy to add sugar to stuff, right? I like savoury tastes myself. So I don't need a lot of that. If you want to lose weight, it's exercise. Boring but true. At least after 30 years old, eating less can slow the gain, but it won't really reduce. That's not true. Everyone's physiology and lifestyle. Yeah, there's many factors that contribute, right? But the thing that you can't really escape is energy. Calories in, calories out. Some bodies are more efficient with the energy that comes in. You know, so it's never an equal equation, but you can lose weight without shifting to exercise. You do just have to eat less. The problem is that people are generally quite bad at intuiting how much you're eating. Like, there's some foods that you can eat that are like really light on calories and others that are heavy, and you'd be surprised at, you know, how unintuitive it can be sometimes. And like, there's also choices of food that can make you feel full. If you eat a lot of satiating protein in your diet, like, you can feel pretty full without eating as much as if you have like a very sugary carby meal. They'll make you feel probably more hungry and you'll overeat. So anyway, it's all really complicated and there's loads of different components and factors, but you can lose weight without focusing on exercise. It's just about energy expenditure. Oh, this does not look aligned correctly, does it? It does not look aligned correctly. I think I can fix that though, on the fly. It is not. Look, this is the corner of the monument. I'm not sure how that happened, but we've spotted that, so now we have a problem that we need to solve. And we like problem solving. Get out of here, you scamp! Look at this guy. Oh, I want to hug you. Brains. Yeah, sure you want to hug me. I think we might get away with this one. I've got a feeling it's not as bad as it looks. Oh, there's also a way to place this stuff so you can place it super quick. I think you have to place it near the top of the block. Okay, while I'm not getting attacked for a second, or I'm about to get attacked. So we can shift this whole thing 2 blocks this way, right? I'm out of scaffolding. Let's go get some more scaffolding. For some reason, I'm vibing even more with Errands today than usual, says Kalzadoom. I deliberately picked out records that I've not streamed a lot for today. Currently, we are on Kingdom of Errands, like an older one that I don't often choose to stream, and that's after listening to Season of Bloom, Magic and Sand. So a lot of new stuff. Maybe this record just happens to have like less of the darker vibes. Maybe that's why. Yeah, look at that. So we can fix it like that on that end, and then at this end we'll have to rip out those two. Yeah, not sure how that happened, but we'll have to adjust the schematic as well. So when you click at the top of a block like there, look at the speed at which you place compared to the bottom. So if you want to be more efficient, you kind of want to aim topwards. Oh my god, I'm getting shot at so much. This might be the death of me, peeps. Okay, maybe not. Are you still into black metal, says Naf Behel? I'll always be into it. I've not found any, like, I don't really listen to new records of black metal. I don't even, like, look for old records. Like, what I mean is just, I have a black metal record on my playlist that I'll probably write about before long. But it just hasn't been that enjoyable. Like, I don't really find records that do something new. And I don't really have, like, a need to explore that area further. So I'm kind of just happy with, like, loving the classic stuff that I love and exploring other forms of music, because it just doesn't feel like there's anything new in this genre or, like, something new to be offered. This is getting really bad. Yeah, I'm gonna die. Oh, I have a totem! I totally forgot about that. Totally. Well, there's a reason to put another one back in the offhand, right? That's what they're there for. Whoops. Immediately that's going back in. So I probably need to do the trick by, like, flying over there again. You should try older Anil Narathak records. Yeah, I've listened to Anil Narathak back in the day. I never got massively into them. I think I've seen them live a couple of times. I'm not really into hard type of metal, but have you heard Ghost? Yeah, Ghost isn't hard metal. I'll tell you right now, Ghost is like friendly, melodic, accessible metal, and I love them. I think they're brilliant. Brilliant band. You like death metal as well? Yeah, I do. Again, it's just not a genre where anything exciting's happening, you know? Metal's stagnated for a long time. I was big into it in the early noughties, and then through the 10s, sort of watching all the bands on the scene, and then just mid sort of 10s, it just became stagnant. It was like, this has really just been the same stuff over and over again for a while. And even some of the bands that are supposedly, like, pushing the edge, like Lunar Shore or whatever they're called, Lorna Shore, it's everything I heard in 2006. Just that whole deathcore thing just pushed a little further. So yeah, I just haven't heard anything really that exciting. Every now and then I hear stuff that's, like, really well done and competent and good and great songwriting and stuff, but in general it's just been a place for stagnation. And I'll listen to my favourite bands, and there's some bands like Periphery that are always putting out really good new music, and I'd say Pellini would be an example of something really good, but that's more like jazz and jazz influence sort of take on Dejeunt. So yeah, there's just, I don't know, it's just a place of stagnation really musically. Same for a lot of rock and, like, guitar music, it seems. The only metal band I like is Gojira. They're good, right? I'm an indie guy. That's an interesting band as an indie guy to like, because Gojira, I would say, are like a... they're not like... You know, they're probably not even in my top 20 metal bands, but, like, I totally appreciate them, what they do. They're a very, like, very riff-oriented band. Like, they are core metal, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff that's popular that's, like, metal with a twist, like Ghost or Baby Metal. But Gojira, being a very popular band in metal, are really just built off of being a solid metal band. Like, it's all about their riffs, and then they got that kind of earthly sort of vibe to them too, that naturistic, environmentalist perspective. There's a little bit of something. What is your top 20 bands? I don't know, I couldn't ring them off, like, one by one, but Dimmu Borgir would be sitting at the top. Rollins Band. Oh my god, Emperor. Metallica, you know, stuff like that. Slipknot would be up there. I found a goat snake from a movie, can't remember the name. I don't know what a goat snake is. Oh, you found goat snake. Why did I add an A in there? Not heard of goat snake. What about grindcore? I love grindcore too. Never got massively deep into that genre, but love Napalm Death. Just Still listen to them when they put out new records to this day. Oh my god, there's like a drowned guy trying to kill me with a trident. How rude. Oh, this guy needs taking out. Fool, what are you doing? Did I get the trident? No. No trident for me. Seem to not be getting attacked by guardians at the moment, so we'll keep building. Notably, it's nighttime. Did that change anything? Like with the mob cap or something? Also, I need to do it while I'm not getting attacked. I need to do a quick thing. So, first of all, we need to put the renderer on. Oh! Oh, that's interesting. So when I came out and started building this... Oh, well, it all lines up. Never mind. I don't know what happened there then. Maybe the picture I took was rotated the wrong way around or something. Oh, now that I look at it again, it absolutely was. I forgot to flip it in my head. Well, there you go. As a fan of Metallica, what's your opinion on St. Anger? You know, I think it's easy for such a big band to write a record and then just write it off as being terrible. But when it came out, I was really young and like I really liked it for a long time. And then I became a little snobby musical elitist. That's not metal or whatever. And then it was like, oh, that's terrible. Same for Load and Reload. That's not Metallica, that kind of attitude. And then I went back and listened to it again with more of an open mind, and I'm like, it's not terrible. It's a very riff-oriented record with, to be fair, not a lot of great hooks or memorable bits, but it's like, it's not the worst thing ever. The snare drum, though, is just, ugh, ugly. And then as for Load and Reload, those records are incredible. I'm so glad I was able to get into those. To have just ruled them out because they didn't sound like, you know, Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. And found just loads of great songs on those records. I think they're really good. What's your opinion on Japanese heavy metal? Maybe give some Athema a listen. I've listened to a lot of like Japanese black metal and other things from Japan. Like, there's something about Japan that's curious. It's like their take on other cultures and sounds is always like they always bring something to it that you can't put your finger on. One of my favourite Japanese metal bands is Psy. Their album, is it Imaginary Soniscape or something like that, is just genius record. So much weird and interesting stuff on that record, and it's all fun. It's all good. Every day I wonder how much amazing Japanese music out there that I don't know yet. Go explore. Go explore. Like, you don't have to wonder, you can go look at it. It's so easy to access music these days on Spotify. Like Daring Grey. Yeah, Daring Grey are awesome. Although I felt like the last few records they put out, it's just all like a bit samey to my ears. Like they've got something really cool to offer. But then once you know that, I don't know, I felt like their new records just didn't have much to distinguish them apart and stuff. Not having open your inventory to get another stack of sand is so nice. That's what Bedrock needs right now. Let's see if we can do that. Wait, don't I have a container with sand on? Yeah, it's not working. Yeah, it's supposed to stack it up, but it's not. Don't know why. We're working on that. I never really listened to metal. I'm more a peaceful, quiet kind of person, but hearing y'all talk about metal, I would be able to give it a try to anything. Any recommendations for a newbie? Just maybe start with some Metallica, like the Black Album, or Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory. Those are two great places to start with metal. And like, you know, even if you're a quiet person, like, God damn, I'm a quiet person. Right? Like, it's almost like I'm a quiet person, but I've got a bunch of energy inside me, and like metal is when it gets to come out. Old Man's Child has some really nice instrumental pieces. Everything Old Man's Child is really good. I love Old Man's Child. That's my favourite sound right there. The symphonic black metal of Dimmable Gear and Old Man's Child. Just totally my cup of tea. Sometimes you need to get the arg out. Yeah, you need to get that aggression out. We've all got it in us. And having a healthy place to put it is really good. I'm enjoying this project. It's super fun to do this on a stream. Ailstorm is good for a laugh, says Foofy. I never got into Ailstorm. Seen them live a couple of times, but just... I don't know, sometimes the jokes don't land. And I think Ailstorm, for me, they just... I don't know, the sense of humour didn't quite work. It's like, for me, it was sort of like, I get it after like 3 minutes. It's like, okay, pirate metal, I get it, I got it. Cheers. Dream Theater are awesome. Yeah, I love progressive metal. You're sort of a political guy, right? Have you ever heard of Disco Elysium? I don't know what that's got to do with politics, but I wouldn't consider myself a political... I don't know. I can talk about political stuff. I'm interested in political things, but I wouldn't identify with what I probably think most people think is political. I'm much more interested in hearing two sides of a story and learning how people see the world and like why they see it the way they do, than having a side and like arguing for it, you know. This is the way it should be. What's your take on Kashmir, the story of Jamie Flame? Never heard of Jamie Flame. That is a crazy name right there. I've been really getting into Bring Me the Horizon, going to a concert soon. Yeah, there's an awesome band right there. Band that I saw when they were the controversial little deathcore band with scruffy emo hair mops. And, oh, they were a riot back then. Still kind of like... partially my favourite era of theirs is their very first. I like their very first EP, and then their records, That's the Spirit and onwards. Like all the stuff they did between that didn't really like go too well for me. It's kind of weird, because I think that's the stuff that like they built a really strong core, like fan base with. You're political but not ideological. Possibly, yeah, that's one way of seeing it. You seem very philosophical to me. Definitely. Philosophy? Philosophy? Always interests me. What's your thoughts on Bring Me Horizon? Oh, I just sort of said what my thoughts on them are, right? I mean, they're a cool band. What can I say? Power metal is fun as well. I like Amon Amarth. I find this stuff really good to write to. They're like power metal, death metal, right? Power metal is one that I really struggled to get into, but these days I can appreciate it as I've gotten into like Sabaton, for example. Are you a dog or a cat person or neither? I love all animals. Animals are amazing, fascinating and interesting, but I've definitely become very appreciative of dogs. They are little bundles of human love and joy, and they cannot hide how much they love you. Like, even a strange dog just, you know, comes up wagging its tail. They're like, human, you feed me. I love you. That's what I like to picture going on in their head. Just like these really super simplistic thoughts. Maybe this wasn't the best thing to do right now. But I was thinking I could clear the area a little bit. And then come down here and clear some blocks too, maybe? Probably need to get more sand in first. We'll have to do our little trick, our little spawning trick, before I come down to this spot again. I think that's the way to do it. But anyway, there you go. Some of it's been cleared. That should be helpful. Let's just make sure all of that's clear there. Yeah, excellent. Oh my god, Sabaton put on a good show when I saw them at Download. Opeth is also nice. Yeah, Opeth are a great band. I actually listened to a couple of their records the other day. Just, I don't know, I was like, let's put on some Opeth. A couple of their newer ones, and I was just like, dang, I thought how good this band still are after all these years. I think I might need to go up there now, really. Yeah, I want to see Sabaton live this year. They're playing, and I'm going to do some like last-minute gig going is my plan. See if I can get a ticket, you know, on the day kind of thing, and then head down to London and watch a show. Atom 7K, 21 months, that's free, 7 months. I can do math. X, while we're on the topic of music, have you ever heard something by Cell Dweller? Yep, I listened to Cell Dweller back in the day. Isn't it like drum and bass meets metal? I wasn't infused too much by it, I remember that. Angry K9, 94 months. Goodness me, 100 is approaching. Hey X, 94 months. Time sure flies. Hope you're doing well. Take care of your mental health as well as physical. Thanks for the last content, the great content over the last decade. Appreciate it, my dude. Appreciate it. I am definitely taking care of both physical and mental health. And I tell you what, I have been loving working out lately. Since I've been inspired by Arnie and I've like changed up my routine and stuff, I've started doing my legs again. Legs was always my favorite. And I can see my legs growing. And I can feel my knees getting really strong. I haven't had any knee aches, and I've been able to like do a lot more running and leg press. Oh dang it, I just did the whole thing wrong because I was distracted. Need to go back up here and do it proper. I'm just like so getting into it. I also, for the first time, took measurements of like my arms and legs. Like I'm getting old, right? You're not going to have too many goes to have a stab at trying to grow your body. So, like, I'm really going to give it a go. I've been eating, like, lots of food and protein and lots of meat, extra protein shakes. And I measured my legs and stuff, and I just want to see what happens, you know? I'm going to measure them, like, once a month and get some data on, like, how I'm growing them and at what pace and see where I go with it. It's kind of interesting because I'm just, like, finding a new way to enjoy an old thing. But the best thing is just doing the reps, right? And I absolutely love like leg extensions, squats, leg press, calf raises. I don't know what it is, but like all the leg stuff, it's like the easiest to perform, and yet you get like the most pump, as they say, out of it. And X is eating all the spinach. Yeah, I've been eating some spinach too. Spinach though is just a good source of iron. I don't think it's really like the best source of protein. Plant protein tends not to be so great for growing muscle because you don't get a complete set of all the different what are they called? Did you just call them proteins? I'm sure there's another fancy word for them. But yeah, like there's all these different amino acids. That's the one, amino acids. Spinach pizza is the best pizza out there. Yeah, I love spinach on a pizza and eggs on pizza too. I've been eating tons of eggs as well. You know, I'm just having fun with it, like. And yeah, I was sitting in the sauna yesterday, and I was looking at my legs, and I can definitely see these muscles are responding, right? So I'm just gonna crack on and keep doing it the right way. Like, I'm not gonna rush into putting up the weights, but I'm just gonna keep being consistent. It seems to be good for my knees as well. So gonna crack on. Nods and smiles says, so yes, legs for the win. Yeah, a lot of people don't like leg day, but I don't know why. Like maybe it's just, you know, an individual thing, isn't it? Some people respond to it better. I definitely respond to it better. You feel the burn. The movements are just easier to perform. And yeah, it's really good. Good fun. My diet at the moment is 2 eggs, 1 slice of ham and coffee at lunch. Oh, fast the rest of the time till tomorrow morning. That doesn't sound like a lot of calories. I mean, let's say eggs is like, you know, 70 to 80. 75, 150 for 2. A slice of ham, that can't even be 100 calories. Like, let's say it's 250 plus coffee. If you're eating 250 calories a day, like, I mean, that's a pretty vicious fast right there. Something I've been thinking about a lot is I looked back at my food diary the other day, and I used to eat 2,400 calories minimum, plus exercise, which most days would be 600 extra, and so around at least 3,000 calories a day I was eating. This is like 2 years ago, and in the process of like that would like maintain my weight, and in the process of like, all right, I want to get, you know, like as much body fat off as I can. How far can I go with this? Which wasn't anything extreme, but I really trimmed it down way more than I realized. I at one point was sub 1800 calories. So that's like, I was cutting more than 600 every day. But on top of that, I would also cut exercise calories. So I'd probably be cutting like 700 to 800. I think I like really miscalculated stuff. And I was listening to a video that reminded me of something, which is that when you give the body less food, it will get more efficient with the food that it gets. This is a common thing people talk about when getting down to like 10% body fat, is it gets really hard because your body gets more and more stubborn. And I think that's definitely what I experienced, and I probably could have stopped a while ago because I'm not that invested in getting that slim. I was just curious how far I could go, and I think I got there like quite a few months ago to my limit. At least limit without it becoming like a real pain. Like I could probably go further, but it would be a real struggle, and I'd have no reason to do that. So now as I'm coming back up, I'm not really seeing any weight come on, but in the back of my mind I'm wondering like, can I go back to eating 3,000 calories a day? Plus exercise, you know? But I'll find out, because I'm just doing it slowly. Every week I add 50, and I'll get back to that 2,400 and find out, I guess. Are you taking supplements? Yeah, I take supplements. I kind of, when I run out of the amount that I've already got, I think I might try going for a while without. You know, just see how I feel and stuff, because there's some people that argument that, like, supplements are not as good quality as you think they might be, and that there's also sometimes bad stuff in the supplements. Like, a lot of it can be not as regulated as you might be comfortable with, let's say. Right, I need to break some sand up the top. That's what I need to do. Then I need to come down here. I think I'll grab a couple buckets of this. It's so early, why are you awake, says Turtle Burger? Because I get up in the morning? I don't know. Jeez. I sometimes replace the coffee every 3 to 5 days with a meal replacement shake for boosting vitamins. Here's what I like. I don't know what your particular situation is, right? So I can't give you proper advice, but the amount of calories you've described eating there is extremely low, as I understand it, and it concerns me a little bit. But a meal replacement shake is fine as a replacement for a meal when it's convenient and when you're eating normal. If you're like really calorie restricting and potentially running some deficits on important vitamins and nutrition, like I think getting it from a decent source, i.e. vegetables and proper foods, is the way to go. Meal replacement shakes with vitamins and stuff, like, these are like plugging in the gaps, you know, in your daily life. You're busy, you're moving around, it's convenient, it's helpful. It's, you know, having them ain't going to kill you. But when they become a core component of your diet, that doesn't sound like the best of moves to me. Men shouldn't remain under 10% body fat for a long time. It will wreck your mental health and body. 15% is good for men. Women, it's higher. Like 20-25% in fact. Hormones require body fat to be produced as function, says Elmo. I know where you're getting those numbers from, but I think you're misinterpreting a thing, which is that genetics play a component. Like, that's the average, what you're describing. That's like the median, or whatever they call it. Whereas some people differ. I think what I've learned is that I'm probably not capable of sustaining under 12% or 10%, wherever I was roughly around. I mean, well, I probably am capable because I sustained it for quite a few months without having any problems, really. But I think I'm going to be more comfortable just eating more and having a bit more weight on me. But it varies person to person. So someone's genetics might mean that, yeah, they're just way better with like 15-20%, and someone else's might allow them to go down to, you know, 7 or 8% or something. And this is because in, you know, vast populations you're going to get genetic outliers, right? What are athletes? Athletes these days are genetic outliers because a lot of people can put in the effort and do all the hard work to become an athlete, but there's so many people doing that the people that make it to the top, well, they tend to be the genetic outliers, the ones that have just got that extra gift to push them over the top, you know? Nexus says, I 100% agree, Xisuma, but I really wanted to knuckle down and be a role model for people around me. A lot of them have become fairly overweight and aren't doing great. When I get back onto a proper diet, I will fill out all meals and manage around 16,200 calorie diet. I'm hitting my goal. I went from 96 kilograms to 92. Yeah, just that's like 15. Yeah, 90. So I weigh about 76, probably 77 now, as I'm starting to eat more and put on some muscle. And yeah, it's a fair bit extra to carry, right? An extra 10, 13 kilograms, but I mean, I don't know you. Some people can do this, right? Some people just have that force of will where they're like, this is what I'm doing, this is my goal, and they can stick to it. But sometimes those sorts of extreme actions, they cause you to crash and rebound. So, you know, you'll be the better judge of that. That's what I'd be concerned of, is like, doing something so extreme sounds like a, you know, a recipe for a rebound or whatever. But as for being a role model for people around you, that's like really admirable. That's, you know, a great reason to do it, I think. But also, like, what's best for them or what works for you might not be best for them, right? Like, I really would never recommend like the first step on a health journey of like eating, you know, sub 500 calories a day. That's starvation. But yeah, like I said, there's individual outliers. So like, if it works for you, you could just be one of those people. But in terms of like broad averages, I'm pretty sure it's not going to work for the average person. But I was listening to this podcast. Again, this, like, it's weird because earlier we talked about inpatient, outpatient, and it was actually about this Scottish guy who didn't eat for over a year, but he also weighed 400 plus pounds. And so the body can, you know, can live off of, can get through these sorts of extreme conditions, but it is variable person to person, and you know, some people will, you know, react differently to this kind of stuff. I'd love to lose weight, struggle with it a lot, weighing in at 195 kilograms. I've been going to the gym for the last 2 years and eating as per advised by health professionals, says H-Bomb Hayden. Hey man, stick at it. Stick at what you're doing. And if you're not seeing progress over time, then try and look for some things to adjust. I always recommend going the approach of like slowly turning the dial in the positive direction, right? Like I think it's, for the average person, far more beneficial to look for small tweaks and changes that can become the norm. You know, like maybe it's like adding a little bit of walking to your routine and just letting that become the norm, and then you know, months later you make it a little further of a distance to walk or something, and you slowly build those gains with time. Dang it, don't kill me now. Oh dang, I'm out of food. That would always be what I recommend. So I don't know how long you've been on that for, but if it's feels like it's not working, one thing is like, you know, stick with it, and the other thing is like look for those little habits that you can just sort of work in and use to your advantage. I made small changes over time and introduced healthy eating options and cut out choc crisps and cake because it's too expensive anyway. Yeah, cut those things out. I don't eat anything like that anymore. I don't eat puddings. I mean, you know, on occasion I will. Actually, one of my rules is like, if you're somewhere like special, you're abroad, you know, you're on holiday, like that's probably the time to enjoy something like that. But like, it's your day to day, it's your average. Like, if I'm gonna go to my parents every week for Sunday roast, it's easy for me to have a bit of cake, but then that means I have a bit of cake every week. That's what will happen. So I don't, and then it becomes easy for me to not have it because I'm just used to that. Yeah, I don't have the cake, everyone else does. And then I don't have a piece of cake every week, right? And like, you know, it adds up. Ah, they're gonna kill me again. Our pudding's a treat, says Foofy. Depends on what the pudding is. It's funny because I was looking up savoury puddings the other day, and I really couldn't find much in the way of savoury puddings other than stuff that was like, oh, here's the savoury ingredient, but we're going to cover it in syrup or something, right? Like, for me, pudding is fruit and yogurt, pretty much most of the time. Oh, but most pudding tends to be something sugary. You know, cakes and whatnot. Angry Canine says, I recently lost 15 kilograms just by quitting sugary drinks and only drinking 0 sugar drinks and a lot more water. GG, dude. GG. Yeah, all those little bits of sugar, they add up, didn't they? By the way, we've got a bunch of gifted subs coming in. Thank you so much, Curls of Doom, for gifting a sub to Leonard M54. Leonard, be sure to say thanks in the chat, as well as DJ Star Knight, and Kiri was also taken. You've been gifted subs by King Claw Blazer. King Claw, thank you so much for gifting subs to our community. And Veen23 is here for 6 months. Appreciate you. And peeps, be sure to hit that follow button over here if you're enjoying the stream. How are y'all liking the project, by the way? Like, look at what we did today. We haven't done everything, but we did good so far. I think the next step is probably not glass, but it's to do the scaffolding and this stuff. What do we want? We want to make those things. Oh, those things, X! You are so articulate. I wish I could articulate my thoughts and feelings just like you do. Yeah, them things. We need to make them. With oak. Do I even have any oak wood lying around? I certainly have an oak wood farm. My mum has a habit of refusing to listen and is a feeder, and it's like, please feed the food pressure away, thanks. Foofy, I understand that. I understand that. I've spent many a time trying to convince my mum to stop cooking puddings. But, no. And I mean, the other thing is, like, am I right in trying to convince someone else to do that? I don't know. Other people can make their own decisions. I guess maybe not everyone is as militant about putting their, like, health decisions, like, front and center. But I certainly am. I'm very militant about it. I'm just, like, always trying to make the right decisions and keep it a routine. But as I was saying, you know, like, if I went to London, and it's like, to me, the point of being in London is to, like, experience stuff that's different, and you know, as they say, when in Rome, so, like, when I was in London, it was like, oh, there's this Chinese custard and coconut. Well, I like custard, I like coconut, that sounds fantastic. So I had this little cake, and it was gorgeous, and, like, it's just a one-off to treat yourself to. But I wouldn't want it to be like, oh, that's available where I live, and now I'm going to, you know, buy one every time I go to the shops. Then I'd be sort of like, you know, adding in something that's not particularly healthy on a regular basis. I wonder if we can turn off entity rendering. Hotkeys, visuals, maybe entity is in here. Or mob. Or something to do with render. Enable rendering. Let's have a look in here for mob. Entity. Ignore block entities entirely. I don't know if it would count as an info overlay. Doesn't. It's a setting in the configuration. Wait, well, that's where we are. Touring UX. Sorry, let's go back into there. Configuration menu. Render. Right, so it's not a render layer. It might be a hotkey, like a toggle, but I thought you would have seen that. Move entire selection. It's in the schematic config. Thank you. Schematic placements. Config. I knew it was somewhere. I had a feeling I'd seen it. Ignore entities on. Got it. Terrific. Thank you. So we got to place some water, some scaffolding over there. So I need water buckets. Then I need... Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a pain, this bit. I need blocks to place. This is where I need slime blocks, you see. And look at my inventory, it is foul. I did stock them up though, that was good of me. Now it's not so foul. I'm gonna... Actually, I need to put some kelp. Like, I keep forgetting to do it, but I need to put, like, kelp in one of these. So, I'll take that. Thanks. Put a lily pad in there as well, just in case. Right, so water buckets. Scaffolding. We need all of these things. Then we need slime blocks. And then we need to fly up top and fly back down again, I guess. What other projects do you plan to work on in the future, says WXISN. I want to do the area around the TCG arena. That's one of my live stream grinds. We've got this. Then I've got farms in my base. I don't have a crazy amount of big picture stuff further on than that. I think it might be a good time to start thinking about that a little bit. The inventory looks so organised and compares what mine is like regularly. It's a thing that I work on, just trying to keep it nice and organised and functional and stuff. Right, that should make over here a lot easier for us. So we have to, yep, do that. Oh god, it feels like there's loads of them here. Oh, and then that's placed in the wrong spot as a result of being whacked in the bum over and over again. Don't do it again. I'm placing important... Oh gosh, I haven't got food on my hotbar. Right, so that's another block that requires a little bit of milk bucket. I think it's probably better to just do them as they come because it's hard to keep track of. Okay, and now they're probably all going to be over here. I do have an axe, what am I on about? Right, drink that bucket. Grab that axe. Where's the thing? There it is. Got it. Cool. Continue placing. Don't hit me when I'm placing blocks, please. Ugh. Okay, next blocks. 2, 3, 4, 5. That one back, please. Cool. Right, let's swim away and then we'll come back and do it again. I'm happy you shared this Guardian design since draining the monument was always a pain to do. Yeah, it is, isn't it? And I haven't had to drain it at all. That one's there, isn't it? Because we're not rendering. Yeah, we're not rendering. Right, so then I got to go place the water underneath the slime blocks and also open up all of the other bits. Don't I have more buckets than this? Oh yeah, they're in this one. I have the right amount of buckets. Oh, it's going to be painful. 1. 2. Oh, told you it'd be painful. 3. Oh, okay, get out of here. Yeah, I can kind of actually just hang out on this side of the wall. Oh, that's a good point. Now that the wall's here, they can't get to this side. Okay, let's do the next 2. 1, 2. Right, so now all 5 water sources are in. Then we've got to open up all of the fence gates. And then we've got to put in a whole other layer of scaffolding. And that means more sand in the spot too. Right, and all we've got to do is stand over here and we're safe. Cool. Right, next up we pick out loads of scaffolding. A bit more sand. Cool. Out of curiosity, what's the podcast? Oh, it was one that got recommended to me. Something about all sorts of stuff. I can't remember what it was called, but I'm probably not going to listen to it because they ended the podcast on a cliffhanger and I was just like, no, don't do that. It was like a stay tuned to find out what happens. See you later. So I was like, nah. Oh gosh! That was close. Need a better source of food, man. I need some golden carrots out here. Can't even get going. There's just loads of them in there again, basically. You need a bit of a break from this in order to go at it again. I really wish the scaffolding would like mess with them a bit more. Have a better chance then. What's even killing you? Says Miss Swagboss. Have a guess. Have a guess. Look at where we are. Come on. What does 1 + 1 equal? Use your noggin. Right. Oh my god. Have to wait and heal a little bit. Ah, there's a lot of them now, isn't there? And oh god, there's a creeper too. Let's sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep. If only there was a potion that reduced your detection range to degree, rendering gardens effectively useless to their minimum range, says Lucro. Oh yeah, and if only that potion meant you had to strip off all of your armor, and then if a guardian got within a block of you, you'd be pretty much defenseless. If only. What way do I want to die? What way do I want to die? I want to die with my armor on, thank you. Oh, this is painful. There's just too many of them in there. I need to fly away again. And when I'm up here, I should have really brought my hoe and just done a little left to right on them. Got a bit of a pain in my neck. I wonder if it's just because I've been like standing this entire time. Might be. It might be because of that. Anyway, this is proving to be like an absolute pain at this point. So I think that's probably a good place to wrap this project for a minute, right? I think we'll wrap it up here today, peeps. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, because that's what we do on Twitch, not on YouTube. What am I on about? Peeps, thank you ever so much for tuning in today. I'm going to find someone to raid. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who subscribed, resubscribed, donated and cheered. Appreciate y'all coming by. Be sure to hit the follow button before you head out of here. And yeah, thanks for all the gifted subs. Thanks to the, as I say it, I'm trying to multitask and I forget what I've said. I'm going to go look for a small Minecraft channel to raid today. Alright, like sub 50 viewers. English? That doesn't look very English. Okay. Still looking, here we go. The Adventures of Rue. So, just supporting a random Minecraft channel today, that's how we do it. Hope you enjoy what you find, and I'll see you all later. Take care, everyone.